Greetings and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 and the Mexican Communist Republic, which is not actually the Mexican Communist Republic yet, because we're still convincing the population, but we're doing pretty well. We're up to 25% of the PCM, the Partido Comunista Mexicano, which will soon have converted good old Mexico to a communist regime, which will allow us the political freedom we need to declare war on, well, frankly, Guatemala down here, because of its taunting us with its beautiful purple colour of its borders, which we want for ourselves. National focus completed, army effort, great, that's good. How are we doing on our research, look, for concentrated industries? 63 days left. We could just go for this one, which will take us 70 days, so the other one will complete first, but I'm not 100% sure that the plus 20% factories will actually give us an extra factory. It should do, because there's like 6 factory slots there, right? In Mexico, but I'm just going to play it safe, just in case, because, you know, we're never sure about these things. Let's get equipment effort. Equipment completion time 70 days, effect 1 times 50% research bonus for infantry weapons and support artillery. We're going to be wanting infantry weapons and support artillery in the near future, so that's a good thing to have right there, right now, and we do. So it's all good. Let's unpause it. So we're still waiting for this, basically, to advance all the way around to trigger a revolution. And once we have that, the war justifying will begin. The war itself will have to wait until we've whipped the population up into a sufficiently frenzied state that we are able to get away with it. Marxist sympathies in government speak of the devil. Although the party line of the PRM is to strongly oppose revolutionary socialism, keeping a watchful eye on the nation's radical left-wing elements, some people in government are more open to the possibility. If nothing else, they see room for addressing the concerns of the people who look to communists for solutions without risking a full-scale civil war. Although they may be seen as traitors by those who remain loyal to Lázaro Cárdenas and his awesome tash, these dissident voices may be the ones to ensure a relatively bloodless transition should the revolution come. We'll keep an eye on them too, for many reasons. Many important reasons. So we're doing well, and once this reaches, I think 50% will trigger the revolution, so that is on its way, coming in the near future. Meanwhile, how's our recruitment going? I mean, it's coming quite well. I think we've actually recruited some new troops. Let's take a look at our army. Yeah, look, we've got like 5 guys who have been recruited who are not in the army yet, so we'll put them in the army now. Soldiers desert to communist partisans. Capitalists and nationalists would have you spill your blood for them on the front lines, turning brother against brother over disputes that do not concern the working man. Instead of taking up arms against workers who struggle abroad, raise them against the oppressors and overthrow the tyrants. The army, usually a bastion of patriotism and loyalty, has proven not to be immune to the communist propaganda spreading rapidly in Mexico. Soldiers are deserting, refusing to fight for their country, sometimes going as far as to join partisan movements that claim to be preparing for revolution. Perhaps they are merely fighting for a different Mexico. Yes, perhaps indeed. Concentrated industry is complete. Excellent. 1937, we're actually into 1937, so let's just soldier straight on with concentrated industry 2, maybe? Or maybe construction 2. Or improve machine tools, production efficiency cap. Let's go for construction 2. That'll speed up the actual construction of new factories, which is continuing along nicely. When's that going to be built? October, 3rd of October, 1937. Alright, it's a few months away. Let's take a look at Mexico. So do we have an extra factory slot here? I don't know why, but this is the easiest way to tell. Yes, we do! Excellent. Alright, so once this equipment effort is completed, which it will be in a couple of days, we will switch that over and we'll get ourselves a free factory in Mexico City, which will be awesome! Let's unpause it. Equipment effort complete! There we go! Fantastic. And now... oh, it's still there. Why is it still there? We totally do have enough slots for a civilian factory. Civilian industrial capacity must not be underestimated, even when war looms over the world. The following will bypass the focus. I'm not sure why that is, but you know what? Let's just go ahead and do it anyway. Done. It's done. We're going to do it. That's just all there is to it. 37 air wing reserves. Let's put them in and set them to close air support missions. Mission efficiency 24%. We'll actually put this wing in here, I think, because we don't want to overload one airfield. There we go. 37 deploying from reserves. Is this a slightly bigger airfield as well, possibly? Mexico City. 0 of 600 aeroplanes. Wow. Okay, can actually have a lot. This one is 12 of 400. Okay, maybe we didn't need to split them up, but you know, we did anyway. Just because. All right. Radio. Excellent. Radio has been researched. We'll go straight on to radio detection, I think. The development of radar, radio detection and ranging, allows using radio waves to detect physical objects. Research is highly secretive, considering the impact these inventions could have on locating units. Do it. Do it! We want to be able to detect everything in all of the world. How's that revolution coming, by the way? Oh, look, we're nearly there. 47% PCM. Very, very nearly. We'll just keep that up and watch it slowly advance all the way to complete and total communist revolution. Close air support. Yeah, we've got close air support. Oh yeah. It's so close that it could shave the whiskers off a cat. Maybe. Yeah, okay. Maintaining interesting and informative commentary could be somewhat tricky, I'm afraid. World news! The Hindenburg disaster. The German passenger ship Hindenburg was destroyed today while attempting to dock at the Lakehurst Naval Air Station in the United States. For reasons not yet determined, the airship was engulfed in flames and crashed to the ground, claiming 35 lives. Due to the scarcity and expense of helium and the US ban on exporting it, the Hindenburg, like all German passenger airships, was ultimately engineered to use hydrogen, which provides greater lift but is also flammable. With the public faith shaken by this disaster and the rise of much faster passenger aircraft, this could spell the end of the era of airships. Oh, the humanity! Oh, the humanity! I mean, I personally would love to be building airships in communist Mexico when it becomes communist, which at the moment it isn't, but it will be. But it seems that airship technology is just not in... It's just not cool at the moment in the world. National focus completed. Construction effort. Excellent. I think we'll go straight on to construction effort 2. This wants to build it in Chihuahua. Let's take a look at Chihuahua. Where is Chihuahua? See, that says it's got loads of capacity. Or is it this one? Chihuahua, that's got loads of capacity as well. They've all got loads of capacity. Did Mexico City got... Oops. Mexico City did actually get an extra factory look, but it also got an extra factory slot into the bargain. So, frankly, I don't know if I may have that wrong about the way that these political efforts work. Frankly, I don't know. Maybe it always has that up there. I thought it went away when you had enough, but apparently I just don't know what I'm talking about. Which is quite possible. It's a very complicated game. There is just so many things in this game to get used to and understand. And look, we've got 358 political power. Let's totally get in some sort of army chief, maybe. Army drill. Division training time minus 10%. Army defense, division defense plus 10%. Cost 150. Let's get him in. We're going to be needing an army pretty soon that can defend itself against all forms of attack. Communists demand referendum! Marxist ideas took root in Mexico a long time ago, but have gained much more widespread support lately. The movement has spread outside political theory and into political practice, with disgruntled workers and even some high-profile celebrities voicing support. The communists call this class consciousness. The PRM call it a fast track to riots and treason. Showing little faith in Lázaro Cárdenas being willing to implement the reforms they demand, The more vocal communists call for an immediate referendum to have the current government removed. While we might be able to reverse the momentum of this mass movement, failure to do so will doubtlessly result in more popular communist method of removal: revolution. Un-Mexican activities must be stopped. Ignore them. They're just causing trouble. The referendum is preferable to a bloody revolt. Yes, the referendum is preferable to a bloody revolt. The PCM will become the ruling party. Public elections will not be held. Gain base national unity of -5%. Well, we'll take that. The communist revolutionary movement, once a fringe popular among radicals, academics in theory and troublemakers in practice, has seen increased support among the Mexican working class. The fact that even more people choose to identify themselves with a class at all implies that Marxist ideas are spreading beyond those who actively seek to overthrow the government. PRM members lament this development, longing for a time when Mexican was what people identified as first and foremost. Their concerns are not unfounded. It could be argued that a revolution is already underway, occurring on several levels of society, and it may be too late to stop it. The people may call themselves whatever they want. Well, okay, fine. Communists execute coup! Wow, I mean, it's just one thing after another. While the popular movement for communist revolution has been loud and terrifying, a certain section of the political movement have been largely quiet and waiting. The wait is now over. Today, as the PRM leadership and army were bracing for a revolt on a national scale, a number of officials in the Mexican government swiftly placed Lázaro Cárdenas under house arrest and entered negotiation with the rebels. While retaining a pretense of safeguarding order, what the negotiations effectively amounted to was to secure positions within the new socialist state for those who chose to cooperate. The coup was finished before anyone could move to stop it, and those who would have are now imprisoned, exiled, or executed by the new regime. The tides of history will sweep away the past. Politics will change, the PCM becomes the ruling party, public elections will not be held. Gain Reign of Terror, which grants political power gain of plus 10% for 730 days. Excellent. Alright, let's just pause it, because we are now the Mexican Socialist Republic. Huzzah! That is what we have been working towards all this time, and now, oh, you poor fools. You poor Guatemalan fools with your beautiful purple borders. It is time that we justified your conquest. It will cost us 49 political power. We have 211, so that's fine. And it'll last 245 days. So there's still a little while before the actual war breaks out. But we're just going to go ahead and do it. And I'm pretty sure we'll take Guatemala quite quickly. So we'll just unpause it. We'll wait a few days, maybe a week, and then we'll start justifying war on some of these other countries as well. And we're going to try and keep that rolling. We're basically just going to roll through them, bang, 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 one to the next, and hopefully basically get all the way down here to Panama before they even know what's going on. What we should do is, do we have any naval factory? We don't have any naval dockyards. Hopefully we'll pick up some naval dockyards along the way, and then we'll be able to construct some ships, because we'll need ships, as I said, to get across, basically bypass the canal here. World news! Amelia Earhart disappears. The famous aviator Amelia Earhart, the first woman to complete a solo flight across the Atlantic, has disappeared, along with her navigator Fred Noonan, near Howard Island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. The two were attempting a flight around the entire world in their twin-engine Lockheed Electra plane when they vanished. A search for the missing aviators is now being conducted by the US Navy and Coast Guard, but there is little hope of finding them, especially as they were in fact abducted by aliens and or transported to the Gamma Quadrant. I forget. But at any rate, they will never be found. But they are heroes, nonetheless. A loss for aviation. And we do like aviation here in Mexico, so, you know, I mean, it's gonna matter to our pilots and things. They're going to care about this quite a bit, even though we've just had a communist revolution and all that jazz. Oh, another event! Marco Polo Bridge incident. Japanese and Chinese forces have skirmished inconclusively over the strategic Marco Polo Bridge, located just southwest of Beijing. China has accepted full responsibility for the incident, forwarding an apology to Japan, as well as agreeing to extensive territorial concessions. This has surprised many experts, who had predicted that the border tensions would erupt into a full-blown war. Does this mean lasting peace in Asia? Doubtful. Doubtful indeed. Research finished. Radio detection. That's excellent. It's still 1937, so we don't really want to push down into this tech just yet, because we're only halfway through the year. So, what else can we get that is of interest to us? Possibly concentrated industry 2. Factory output plus 20%. Max factories in a state up 20%. Let's do it. We really want to try and push our industry machine as fast as possible, and then once that's kind of on the go, we'll then start thinking about maybe researching tanks and getting everything else rolling. And before we do that, obviously we'll grab the associated national effort if we can. Modify government. We've got quite a lot of political power here, so it's probably worth grabbing. Well, I say that. Let's actually start some war justifications. We need to be a little bit careful that we don't do these too early. We'll wait for another day or two, because the war justification only lasts for so long. Dionisio Enciano. This is our new guy. Let's just call him Dino. It's this guy. It's the new communist leader. Dino Enca. Dino Enca, angered by Guatemalan posturing. Those naive citizens of Mexican Socialist Republic who imagine the Guatemalan as people of peace are entirely out of touch with reality. Those who live at our border do not have the luxury of such delusions, seeing their troops closing in on us just across it. This is a threat we cannot leave unanswered. With every passing day Guatemala is preparing for war. It would be madness for us not to do the same. The Guatemalan military presence close to our territory has sparked increased concerns as this nation appears more and more to be the enemy of the PCM. Whether it is the cause or the effect of their polemic is a matter of contention. Well, I mean, not really a matter of contention at all. It's blatantly obvious that we are the aggressors, but as long as the populace don't realize that, we'll be fine. Regardless, we must ready the people for war. Yes, we must. Speaking of readying the people for war, let's ready the people for some more wars whilst we're at it as well. So the Honduras government construction effort is complete. Hold on. That's good. Infrastructure efforts. We do want to get down to these extra research trees basically as quickly as possible. So let's just plow on, even though this says not enough building slots for infrastructure. Frankly, we're just going to do it and be damned. Do it and be damned. So yes, the Honduras government, next to be justified in our glorious conquest of them. This will cost us 49 political power and last for 245 days. Do it. Dino Enca questions the Guatemalan sovereignty. Who determines the borders of a nation and how they are determined? Whatever way people have found in the past to justify where Mexican Socialist Republic ends and Guatemala begins, we live in a new era. The strategic importance of this border cannot be overstated, and we are well within our rights to shift it to ensure the continued security of our people. Listening to Dino Enca's recent speeches, an invasion of Guatemala appears imminent. Dissenting voices have objected, but public support for war is on the rise. We must rally behind this cause. Yes, we must. Well, look, we've got quite a lot of units, so I'm sure we'll be fine. We've got, I mean, look, we've been cranking out the detachments here on the border for quite a while, so I think it'll probably be fine. In fact, you know what? Time is marching on. Let's just pause it for a second. Research complete. Construction 2. Excellent. That's what we like to see. We should probably start excavation. Resource gain efficiency to try and gain a little bit more resources for ourselves so we don't have to import quite so many. Or we can do improved tools. Let's go for excavation. There we go. That would be good. If we can take a quick look actually at our resources using the resource map layer. So what have we got resource wise? We've got 10 tungsten, 48 oil, 4 Steel. That seems to be it for the time being, but that's okay. We can like ramp that up and get more and better stuff. We're also going to justify war against El Salvador here. What's his name? This guy here. Maximiliano! Maximiliano! Hey, Maximiliano, we're friends, yeah? But no, it's not true. We're going to justify war. I know I promised that I wouldn't do silly accents, but for some reason Italian came out then when I started reading Maximiliano. Good. Let's just continue. Continue. Dino Enka angered by Guatemalan posturing. I believe this is the same speech as before. I think he's recycling his speeches now. Those naive citizens of Mexico's Socialist Republic who imagine the Guatemalans as people of peace, it's not true. They're very nasty people. Very nasty people. We have to pacify them and incorporate them into the Mexican Socialist Republic. It's what happens, you know? It's what happens. Good. Regardless, let's prepare. Death to fascists! Dino Enka calls for crushing of the El Salvadorian nationalism. Is there any society more repugnant to the future of the revolution, any more alien to the plight of the worker than the fascist regime of El Salvador, calling upon the people to devote themselves fanatically to the decrepit institution of the nation-state? They have dressed up age-old ways of savagery in modern costume, trying to present themselves as an alternative future to the inevitable international victory of the working class. It is only a matter of time until they strike against us or our allies. Let us strike first. No one has expected less than mutual contempt between us and the El Salvadorian, but the animosity has intensified lately. It will now appear that conflicts will arise sooner rather than later. Death to the fascists! Yeah, totally. Total death to the fascists. Let's just slow things down for a second because it's all happening rather a lot. Japan has declared war on China. Oh, I thought they were going to be friends. Japan has declared war on Shaanxi. Well, okay, good for you. We are already justifying war against El Salvador. We'll wait for a little bit and then we'll go on and justify some war against Nicaragua as well. It's going to be like a blitzkrieg. I mean, it's going to be an infantry blitzkrieg, but it's going to be a blitzkrieg. We're going to totally take them out. We're also going to stop the army from exercising, I think. How is the justification going against Guatemala? Mexican Socialist Republic is justifying the war. Oh, you know what? I say that. We've still got like more than 100 days left, so we might as well keep exercising. It's fine. We might as well add all of our units though. So we've got 10 infantry. We'll spread these out a little bit, I think. In fact, let's set the front line. Front line. There's the front line. And we'll allow our commander to just kind of like distribute his troops as he sees fit. We can micro this, and in my experience, if you really want to be efficient in war, you kind of do have to micro it. The military commander is alright, but he does an awful lot of what seem like rather unnecessary military maneuvers, like sending troops all around the place for no particularly obvious reason. But as long as we're kind of like obviously the superior party, it's easy enough just to let him do his thing. He likes it as well. I mean, look, he's got that slightly smug expression on his face. He's kind of like, yes, I know what I'm doing. I am like super commander man. I am Gileado Magna, Mexican commander extraordinaire. And I will have victory for my people. That's how he talks. I don't know why he talks like that. He just does. It's his way. National focus complete. Infrastructure effort has completed. That's good. Infrastructure effort 2 adds 1 infrastructure. We're going to do it. We're going to do that as well. I really hope that I'm not like gimping myself. But even if I am, to be honest with you, getting down to research as quickly as possible, I think it's got to be a good thing. Oh, I somehow activated day-night cycles again, possibly by pressing some sort of key. Good. Let's wait till we'll wait till the end of the month, and then we'll start justifying war on Nicaragua here. I think it's fine. I think it's fine to justify war against everybody all at the same time, isn't it? That's quite normal for international? Oh, look, it's the end of the month. That's quite normal. I'm pretty sure that's sort of a normal thing to do. Justify war. Conquer Nicaragua. 44 political power. It'll last us 220 days. Let's do it. Now that we've got all these war justifications on the go, we can afford to spend some of our political power here as well on something. Maybe Chief of the Air Force? Military High Command? What can we get from Military High Command? Naval Air Defense, Strategic Bombing, Army Regrouping, Armor. I mean, all these things are good things, but possibly not yet. Air Force, Air Reformer, Expert. Air Experience Gain plus 10%, or Ground Support, Air Support plus 10%. Let's go for that. We'll be doing a bit of ground support, so that could come in handy. I don't know what. I think he might just have one man. I think he might just have one man, but it's fine. I mean, we'll go easy on him. We won't go easy on him, I'm afraid. We're not going to go easy at all. We're going to go very, very hard, in fact, and crush him out of existence. But once he has been incorporated, and by him, I'm talking, of course, about the nation of Guatemala. Once Guatemala has been incorporated into the Mexican Socialist Republic, it's all going to be good. They're gonna love being liberated by us. I mean, their workers are certainly going to be much happier. Dino Enker questions the Guatemalan sovereignty. Yes, again, we're going to ask who determines the border. Well, I am the one who determines the border. So let's rally behind that cause, shall we? I think we can all agree that is clearly the best way forward right now. We're nearly there, but we're also nearly out of time. I don't think we're going to be able to get this war started this session. It's going to have to wait for the third one. But it'll be, once war starts, it's just going to keep rolling for quite a long time, at least until we get to the Panama Canal. Dino Enker calls to aid the Honduran workers. Is there a greater lie? Is there a greater lie than the supposed liberty of the Honduran people, where they once slaved under the princes and dukes who claimed ownership of the soil? They are now forced to sell their labor to those who claim ownership of the factories. Their freedom to choose one master over the other can hardly be called liberty. Likewise, their freedom to elect their leaders is a false choice, as propaganda would never allow the true socialists to take power. A people so thoroughly indoctrinated can only be saved by a Mexican intervention. Yes, a Mexican intervention in Honduras. It is the only possible thing. Dino Enker has polemicized against the government in Honduras for a long time in party meetings, but this rhetoric is now used more frequently in public. There is little reason to believe this conflict could be resolved peacefully. We will crush their bourgeois dictatorship, or whatever it is they are. National focus complete, infrastructure effort 2. Excellent. And now we finally get some new research slots. Oh, it's been a long time coming. It has been many other long times coming, but that is going to have to wait until next time, because we have run out of time. So the war is going to start next time, and once it starts, as I said, it's just going to keep rolling. We're going to try and keep it rolling anyway. We're going to go through Guatemala, we're going to go through Honduras and El Salvador, we're going to go on through Nicaragua, down into Costa Rica. We're probably about ready to start the declaration on them. I suppose we'll have to wait a little bit, because it'll take a while to fight through all of this lot. But pretty soon, in fact, we should probably do that before too long to make sure that it's in place. We've still got plenty of political power, so that's fine. And on to Panama, and then we'll take a little pause, because we won't be able to get past the Panama Canal. At that point, we'll have to construct ships so that we can do a naval invasion across here to Colombia or Venezuela or Ecuador, wherever we decide is best to invade. And then we'll sort of carve out a section of South America and assess whether the time is right to go for the United States. Before we go for the United States, though, we're going to need a pretty decent navy, probably, and definitely armor, and I mean just all sorts of cool stuff. And we will have it, and we will take on the great United States of America, and perhaps we will even create a grand socialist republic that spans the Americas north and south. But that, of course, will have to wait until not just next time, but probably many episodes in the future. But until then, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I have been Weird Wizard, and I will see you later.